Alright, so for this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a revamp of my level 1 Raider tier list, and I'll be doing the same with level 2, 3, and 4 as well, primarily because those tier lists were made before the... well, it wasn't really that big of a rebalancing. All they really did was change like 2 or 3 Raiders slightly, and that's about it. But one of them was so significant, I feel like they deserve a massive bump, but well, we'll get to that. For now, I will say this video is not going to be nearly as long as the other Raider tier list videos, just because I won't really have too much to say unless something was changed, or I'm giving a reasoning as to why they're higher or lower. So, first off, we got Larva Cell here. Now, in the original tier list, I put him at the absolute bottom next to level 1 Baby, and in retrospect, I think that might have been the wrong choice, because, yeah, he can't do too much himself, but Cell is only level 1 for such an insanely brief period of time that, well, he basically doesn't even have a level 1. He almost starts at level 2, essentially, if you really think about it. The auto-evolve itself is relatively quick, even though you really shouldn't be relying on that. He only needs 2 civs, or 1 civ plus like a minute. Actually, I think it's less than that. I think it's like 40 seconds. I don't know. I don't have the auto-evolve thing maxed out. You should never have that maxed out. It's pointless. But either way, like, I know in my previous one I wasn't considering how quickly how easy or hard it is to get to certain levels. Obviously, that's not relevant for level 1 since that's where you start with everybody. But I will, in this one, give them a bit more points if they evolve faster. So, Larvacell, I mean, like I said, he himself is pretty awful. Pretty much all he can do is move, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But he does have one of the funniest lines in the entire game, so for that, I'd say he's probably bumped up from D all the way up to B, just because he evolves very quickly. You're not going to be playing as him for very long. As for the Cell Jr. variant, I actually think he's probably one of the best level 1s in the game now, unironically. And yes, there is a difference. The difference is, he only needs 1 civ plus about 10 seconds to auto-evolve. Kind of makes you wonder what's even the point of investing in his auto-evolve feature at all. I don't even know if there is a difference, maybe 2 seconds, but yeah, so that's the thing now. You know how I was joking just a second ago about how Larvacell, you're only stuck at level 1 for like a minute and a half, and how you basically don't have a level 1, you basically start the game at level 2? Yeah, well, with Cell Juniors, he literally starts the game at level 2. Unless you get absolutely royally screwed by RNG, you're always going to be perfectly fine with him. You basically don't have a level 1. Now, I feel like I might be being a little bit generous by putting an S just because you don't play as him basically at all. But at the same time, yeah. Next up we got Frieza. Frieza, my previous one, I put at A, and honestly, I think I underestimated him. Like, I think I really underestimated him. Like, he might be either at the very bottom of Z, maybe the top of S. One or the other, we'll see. The reasoning for this is because not only does at level 1 does he have a really good search tool with Scouter, but also, also real quick tangent, I'm not putting in the Golden Frieza variant because they are copy and paste exactly the same. Like, they evolve the same rate, they evolve the same path, there's no gameplay mechanic that's like pulling the strings behind the strings, what? I'm having a stroke over here. Strings behind the seams, there we go. Try saying that 3 times fast. Anyway, so it's basically copy and paste the exact same, so this goes for both. Anywho, with level 1 Frieza, I think I underestimated him, because I've come to realize that if you're on PC, or just are using a mouse in general for aiming, his range is, like, legendary. It's just as good as level 3 cells. The only difference being it doesn't have an AoE attached to it, so, you know, you have to be really, really good at aiming to do it. But there's been plenty of times where I start the game, I just float straight up immediately, I can see where the survivors are, and I start spamming attacks to either blow up buildings or even hit them. That scares them off. Then I can throw my minions out in directions, fly over to where they were, pick off the 2 civs that were there, that they would have rescued if I hadn't done that. Now I'm level 2 in like the first 20 seconds of the game. Then I go back to my spawn, I find the 2 civs that I spawned next to, and now I'm basically level 3 within the first minute and a half. I know that requires a bit of RNG, because the only way to do that is to get into Mechians without balls, but, like, still, like, for what that is, like, the fact that I was able to do that consistently, pretty impressive. But yeah, out of all the level 1s, I think level 1 Frieza might be one of the very few ones who can legitimately put up a fight. Like, even in a group setting, he can kind of put up a fight, because it's not very hard to play keep away with him, and his melees are insanely fast. Like, they are pretty much just a one and done, just like Nappa's. So, definitely think I'm going to bump him up to S, maybe even Z. We'll see what happens. Next up is Spopovich, who I think I might have oversold both him and the Buuhan variant, because they are very, very slightly different. The difference is the Buuhan variant needs one less Civ, and that's pretty much it. Well, no, that's not entirely it. As a raider, Buuhan also spawns in more civs, so you're more likely to find civs, but aside from that, that's the only difference. So the Buuhan variant is definitely superior, but still. So Spopovich with Kid Buu requires 4 civs, I believe it was, and his overall toolkit is serviceable. Like, for a level 1, it's good, but like, if he was a level 2 or something, he'd be pretty subpar. Pretty below average. I think I'm kind of oversold in my previous list by putting him in B tier, so it may sound kind of weird, but I think this version goes into C, whereas the Buuhan variant, I think that can be in B as well, just because it's the exact same thing, but you're less likely to get screwed, because you only need 3 civs, you don't need to have your passive gauge maxed out, you only need to invest +7. Why that is, I don't know. You think maxing it out will make it so you only need 2 civs, but nope. At that point, that only influences what you get from survivors combat-wise, not by finishing them off, but rather hitting them with Yamu. So, yeah. Same thing, just 1 less civ, and there's more civs who spawn in the whole map, so you're more likely to get them. So, because you can get out of him quicker with Buuhan, I think he's a lot better. But the regular Spopovich, I definitely think I oversold him. I really think I oversold him a bunch. Also, you might notice I didn't have an ooh tier this time, which was where level 1 Baby went. You'll see why when we get to Baby. Anywho, next up we got Vegeta with the Saibaman. The Saibaman is not very good, but he's not completely terrible. See, he can't fly. That's a pretty big bad thing. He's only got, I believe it's 3 actives. Actually, I think it's only 2. I think he's only got the acid and the teleport. Yeah. The teleport you can only realistically ever use once, period, because he gets popped after 3 minutes. It takes 45 seconds to cool down. It starts on a cooldown at the start of the match, which I think is completely unnecessary. I understand why, because people can step over the Simons. People can spawn on the Simon location, so I understand why that is. But still. Now, downsides aside, his biggest upside is the fact that his melees are instant kills. No matter what, if you get melee by the Sidemen, you die. That's definitely his biggest advantage. Then, if he finishes off a survivor, he only needs 1 survivor to evolve, or just simply melee them. But that's a lot easier said than done. Against competent teams, they'll know to just simply stay back. Realistically, you're only ever going to get somebody if you dedicate your entire life to that one bozo who's doing a level 4 build against Vegeta for some reason, or if it's just a really, really dumb and bad team. Like, honestly, if you catch someone as a Saibaman, you are probably going to win the game anyway. So, you know, don't go too crazy beyond that. His biggest advantage is that he only needs 3 civs to evolve, which is nice, but it's not very nice that he can't fly, meaning it's harder for him to get around, meaning it's harder for him to get the civs. I don't know if he's worse than Spopovich, but he's definitely still pretty subpar. C tier, just like he was last time. Moving on to Guldo. Guldo, again, I think I kind of oversold. Like, combat-wise, he's probably one of the best level 1s. Probably like one of the top 3. Because he's the only level 1, aside from Broly, who actually has a Break Strike. And it's a group AoE Break Strike, meaning if anyone's around you, they also get locked into it. He has a super attack, which is an AoE. Granted, it doesn't do damage, it just paralyzes them, but, you know, hey, you take what you can get with level 1s. He has a full power energy volley. Granted, it's the worst one in the game, but he has a volley at level 1. His biggest downside is the fact that he is very squishy. He dies in just like 2 supers, essentially. Or 1 super and like 5 Ki Blasts. Very, very, very flimsy Raider. However, I didn't... Oh, that is right, they did buff him, right. So, I made my previous tier list before this buff. Remember when I said they only changed like 2 or 3 Raiders? Yeah, this is one of the ones they changed. They made it so Guldo only needs 3 civs now instead of 5, which is pretty significant. Like, you get out of him pretty quickly, and if you get jumped, you actually do stand a chance. I don't know if he's better than Cell Jr. Larva, though, just because with Cell Jr. Larva, you're out of your level 1, like, instantly. Just snap your fingers. And if you get really lucky, like, if you're playing on Snowy Mountain or whatever, and you spawn in Area D, you know how you can spawn directly in front of a little hut? If you get lucky and there's a civ right there, you are out of your level 1 in literally 10 seconds. Like, actually instantly. It's essentially like you're playing as Super Broly. So, I don't know. Like, I may be overselling that feature a bit, but yeah. Overall, Guldo is still pretty good, but I definitely kind of oversold his combat prowess. Like, yes, he can fight back, but realistically, he can only fight back against 1 person, and you really shouldn't be fighting back as Guldo anyway. You should always be ducking. But due to the fact that he only needs 3 civs, realistically, that's not going to be happening, so yeah. Super Broly doesn't have level 1, so we skip him. Zamasu, I don't have much to say. He's still exactly the same. Great toolkit, great mobility. I think he's the only one with who can use his dash immediately, actually. Yeah, he is, for some reason. A hunting tool, mobility tool, like 2 supers which are not fantastic, but can help. Just overall, and pretty decent Ki Blast too. He's one of the heftier investments. I think it's like 3 civilians plus like 20 seconds to auto-evolve, or like just 4 civilians in general. Maybe it's 5 civilians in total, but like the auto-evolve is so quick that that's irrelevant. I don't know. I probably should have done testing with that. Either way, he's exactly the same. I don't have much to say about him. Next up is Baby. Might surprise you to learn this. Level 1 Baby, he's still the worst one in the game. Yeah. He still, to this day, requires 5 civilians or 3 survivors, which is insane. Absolute insanity. I mean, listen, if you can catch 3 survivors as Baby at level 1, you were gonna win the game anyway. Like, there's been so many times when playtesting with Baby that I gotta say, this might honestly be the most win more Raider in the game. As in, there's so many moments where for him to be good, you had to have been in a winning game state anyway. As in, you were gonna win anyway regardless. But anywho, I don't have much to say about him. You know how bad he is. I know how bad he is. No Ki Blast, can't fly. The only good thing he's got going for him is the stealth. I'm very hiccupy today. The only good thing he's got going for him is his stealth mechanics. And against competent teams, or even just randoms with Nimbus, that's never going to happen. I myself have only been caught by Baby maybe 5 times in my entire life. And keep in mind, I've been playing the game since Season 5, before he even existed. And the fact that in all this... And I didn't have Nimbus. I didn't even have Nimbus until Season 8. And I've only been caught by this guy 5 times. And 4 out of those 5 times, it was genuine bad luck. Only once was it an actual outplaying maneuver. And it's because the dude did the tactic of sit in the area you spawn and wait for someone to come. So even then, you could just chalk it up to bad luck. Alright, but anyway, moving on to the Gammas, we got Gamma 2, there we go. It's like, yeah, number 2 is the level 1, and 1 is the number 2. I get canonically it's because 1 is stronger than 2, but I don't think he's that much stronger to the point that this is justifiable, but whatever. Anywho, I think I'm going to downgrade him from S to A here because while he is one of the few level 1s who can genuinely fight back and does have a break strike, and it's a pretty obnoxious one if that, he still requires a pretty hefty investment, has very low health, and has a very huge risk of, if he dies, then you have to be incredibly careful as level 2. Because if he dies after you got, say, 4 civilians, but you couldn't auto-evolve in time, and you got jumped, and now you're level 2, you have to be on massive alert, because level 2 has just as low HP, has basically the exact same moveset, debatably better or worse Ki Blast, depending on the situation, really, and a slightly better super attack, but other than that, it's basically just copy and paste the exact same thing. With now, you have the caveat of if you die now level 2, the whole game's over. Now, against bad teams, this is never going to matter. This will never come up against bad teams. But against premates, which I've been facing a lot lately, I actually did a lot of testing with everybody here for premates to get a better idea of how these guys work against really good teams. Granted, not every premate is the best in the universe, but I probably could have gotten the same with good randoms. But good randoms on breakers is like a 1 in a trillion chance, so, you know. Anywho, combat-wise, he's probably one of the better ones, as he has cracked vanish kicks, a really obnoxious break strike, a pretty decent search tool, which also works on civilians, so it's not the most difficult thing in the world to get out of. But overall, I do think I kind of oversold his combat capabilities, just because, while he does have 2 supers, one of them is rather lackluster at any range beyond 50, and the other is pretty good. At least at a range. Up close, it's practically useless. But that's all I gotta say for him. And then, finally, we got Paragus. I, again, don't have too much to say, because level 1-wise... This video in general is going to be much shorter than the other revised ones, because there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about. In fact, level 1 revised, I think the only ones who really changed at all post the update that came out, like, 6 months ago. Yeah, it's been a while. I probably should have done this as soon as they updated it, but, you know, forward planning, not one of my fortes. Anyway, the only ones who really changed that much was Cell Jr., Guldo, and I think... Was Frieza's... now I gotta think. Was Frieza's rebalancing before or after this? Was it in the same patch, or was it in a patch before? I think it was in a patch before, so I'm not gonna count that. Either way, Paragus, don't have much to say. He's still the best level 1. Surprise, surprise, he probably gets the best placement and everything, always, like usual. Not much to say. He's exactly the same. Only level 1 with a break strike. Level 1 where there's no consequence on dying. You can go level 2 with just 3 civs, or you could devote yourself and get like 8 civs to get level 3 immediately. He's just amazing. He's just cracked. Okay, so daring to compare this tier list with what I've had before previously, Baby is basically still at the very bottom. Spopovich is down a tier. Saibaman is the same tier. Larvacell is up 2 tiers. Ooh. The Buuhan variant of Spopovich, who I forgot to list on the last one, very embarrassing, I know, is basically in the same boat as the original, I guess. Gamma 1 is down 1 tier. Frieza level 1 is up 1 tier. Cell Jr. variant, who didn't have a placement previously because he didn't function differently, but post-rebalancing now he does. He's shot up compared to what Cell was in last time. Cell was in D tier previously, but shot all the way up to S just on virtue of basically not even having a level 1. Seriously, 1 civ in 10 seconds. That is all you need. Amazing. Anywho, Guldo going down by 1 tier. And Zamasu and Broly staying exactly the same. Who would have guessed? I'll have a bit more to say on the level 2 and 3 and definitely 4s, I would say, because there are some raiders who, while they didn't get that big of a rebalancing, I definitely think I undersold them. For example, a little bit of a spoiler warning, I think I might have put level 3 Baby a bit too high. I think he's actually way lower than what I put him on. And I think level 4-wise, I think I might have oversold Cell Max, because using him against good teams has taught me that, while yes, he is technically the strongest raider in terms of stats, he's not the best choice in general. He's definitely not the worst. He's not the best level 4. I mean, don't get me wrong, even on the level 4 tier list, he wasn't the best, but he was still in the best tier. He was still in the best tier. He was still Z tier. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll have a lot more to say after this one. Man, I'm hiccupy today. Then again, when aren't I? I'll have a lot more to say in the level 2, 3, and 4 ones compared to level 1 here, because, like I said, balancing-wise, the only ones that really changed were Guldo and Cell Jr. So, not a whole lot to say here, but overall, I think this is a much more definitive version of the list. Now, you could definitely make the argument of, well, if them evolving fast is irrelevant, then the cells go all the way down to the bottom tier. Guldo would go down to, like, maybe A. Buuhan would probably be in C with the regular version. In fact, the only ones who'd probably be above A would be Frieza, Broly, and Zamasu, but this is dictating how easy it is to get, unlike my previous list. My previous lists, I had a tangent with all of them where it's like, okay, ignoring how hard it is to get these guys. What I mean by that is, like, for example, getting Cell Max is trivial, but compare that to Full Power Ginyu. It's like, Full Power Ginyu, that's a tall order, and if you get Full Power Ginyu, you are probably going to win anyway. So it's like, why should I rank him like that? But here I will dictate how quickly it is they get out of it. For the level 2, 3, and 4s, well, I guess more of the 2 and 3, since 4s can't evolve further, usually. For those ones, I will determine how fast they evolve, but I won't determine how hard it is to get to that point. For example, level 3 Frieza isn't the most difficult thing in the universe to get to. However, he himself only requires, I think it's 3 survivors? Maybe, and like 4 Namekians without balls, I think? Yeah. It's like 4 Namekians without balls or 3 survivors. Like, that's pretty easy. And so I will bump him up for that because it's very easy to get out of. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely be looking forward to part 2, 3, and 4 of this. If you're wondering, thank you for watching all the way to the end here. If you're wondering why my videos have slowed down to such an immense crawl, it's because I was sick for a good long while, and I haven't been able to get to work on any of my videos as a result. Very debilitating, you see. After this one, I'm gonna make the TF2 video about soldiers' crutch weapons, so if you've been looking forward to that, don't worry, my TF2 fans. I know you guys are probably not watching this video, but just in case you like the sound of my voice or whatever, I will be getting to that one pretty much immediately after this video goes live. Hope you enjoyed. Click the link in the description down below to donate to my PayPal and support me and my channel because I'm not monetized and I likely never will be due to my very staunch political beliefs as well as my very filthy mouth. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.